Hello and welcome to Transformers Lore. Now, this episode takes place before Megatron Origin. This episode will be composed from flashbacks from the story arc Chaos Theory. Let's get into this. It is Cybertron, 4 million years ago. Cybertron is still under the rule of the Senate and class systems still dominate Cybertronian society. Recently, some protesters were shot, and a certain miner is inspired to write. His name is Megatron, and he is a miner from Tarn. He is a poet, but this time he's not showing his friend Impactor a poem, but a treatise. His writings question the government and urges people to protest the government peacefully. There are three main questions. Question 1. In whose interest does the Senate exercise its power? Question 2. To whom is the Senate accountable? And question 3. How can we get rid of the Senate? Impactor criticizes this, as he is a fan of a more violent way to protest. Megatron denounces violence, believing that violence will only create more violence. Just then, a robot by the name of Rung is thrown onto the table by Senate enforcers because Rung accidentally spilt their drinks. Impactor got up and proceeded to beat them. According to reports, these enforcers may never be able to walk again. Impactor himself was also hurt in the fighting, and he was sent to the Deltaran medical facility. Megatron was arrested due to his ties with Impactor, and he was held in the Rodion police station for questioning. First, Springarm comes and asks him some basic questions. Megaton, is it? Tron. Megatron. As an electron, got you. Megatron asks for his right to have a communicube to contact someone, and Springarm leaves to find the police officer responsible for giving him his call. Whirl arrives with the communicube. Just when they're alone, Whirl crushes the communicube and proceeds to beat Megatron in his cell. See, Whirl was a friend to those people Impactor beat, and Whirl blames Megatron. Springarm eventually returned. What the heck are you doing? Turn around and walk away, Springarm. You didn't see this. He's being set free, Captain's orders. Jeez, Whirl. What have you done? What had Whirl done indeed? For a while Megatron laid there bleeding on the floor of his cell. His hopes for a peaceful protest was long gone. Megatron was brought before the captain of the police forces in Rodion. His name was Orion Pax. He was a graduate of the Iacon Academy of Science and Technology and was highly decorated in the police force. Orion had read some of the writings that Megatron had that were confiscated, and he realized that it was unlikely for someone who advocated peaceful protest to beat two Senate enforcers. You must be Megaton. Megatron, sir. T-R-O-N. Ah, as in electronic. This is yours. I couldn't help reading it. I hope you don't mind. I don't agree with everything you've written, but at least you're articulating your concerns. At least you're doing something. Keep it up. Megatron was freed outside the station. It's not electronic. Excuse me? My name. The Tron is from neutron. As in bomb. Right. Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your life, citizen. Springarm returns Megatron his writings and lets him be free. Megatron glares at his writings advocating for peaceful protest and throws it into a nearby sign. He looks at the shape that was made when the sign shattered. A jagged, almost triangular pattern. This would one day become the symbol for the Decepticons. Orion Pax had Whirl arrested for what he did, and later that evening he watched the news where it was reported that an assassination attempt had occurred on Nominus Prime. Though Nominus was alive, he was in critical condition. 3 Senate thugs came into the building. See, Whirl himself worked for the Senate, and the Senate kept an eye out for their own kind. They tried to intimidate Orion Pax into letting Whirl go, but Orion stayed by the side of the law and sent them away. But he couldn't help but think about Megatron's words. Was the Senate really corrupt? Orion went out and captured most of the criminals in the city when his assistants Springarm and Willarch came back. He mentioned how he felt unsure about the future, and Springarm told him to have faith in Primus. See, Springarm was religious, and even had a tattoo of the Matrix of Leadership on his face. But Pax really couldn't accept that answer as he was agnostic. He went out to walk to think before he came back. He found the station had been ransacked and that Springarm and Willarch were dead. He saw that the Senate enforcers were freeing Whirl. Pax fought the enforcers, even riding on Springarm's dead body for a time. After the enforcers were defeated, Pax saw Whirl dragging himself away. Touch me and they'll hunt you down. That's not a threat, that's a warning. The Senate has eyes everywhere. Cross them and they'll tear your world apart. Trust me, I've seen it happen. You have the right to walk away. Anything you say will be used to destroy you. I ask you, Captain, what are you going to do? The Grand Imperium is the seat of the Senate. At the Senate, Senator Ratbat, Senator Decimus, and Senator Proteus were proposing a clampdown on society, since there was an assassination attempt on Nominus. The leader of the Autobot forces, Sentinel, watched in anticipation. However, he kept getting reports of an intruder. Finally, Orion Pax broke into the floor of the Senate and dropped the body of Whirl right there. You dare interrupt the Senate in private session? Evidently. This is Whirl. He broke the law. Associates of yours wanted me to overlook that fact. I didn't, and 2 good officers died as a result. I want you to look at him and realize even the smallest actions have consequences. You sit in session, detached from the real world, giving orders designed to keep the rest of us in check, and if anyone steps out of line, if anyone thinks a rogue thought, you tighten the screws. And I didn't even realize this until I met a miner from Tarn, a friend who had so much to say that he couldn't find the words. A miner by design but not by choice. He wanted the freedom to choose his own fate, not have it decided for him by a ruling elite who presumed to know best. And only now do I recognize the limits that you have put on our freedom, and you do it because you are terrified of anything you can't control. They have a name for us, you know. Other races looking down, mapping our progress. They call us Autobots. I've often wondered about that name, and now I realize. The auto comes from automaton, one who leads a routine, monotonous life. And that's all we are to you, isn't it? Automatons. Our lives evermore circumscribed from birth to death, ignition to burnout. It doesn't have to be like this. All of us, we could be so much more. Autobots. Autonomous, free-thinking, masters of our own destiny. So, as of today, as of right now, I am laying claim to that name. Henceforth, I am an Autobot, and it is Autobots like me who will outlive institutions like this one, unless you change your ways. Senator Proteus orders Sentinel to remove him, and he sends 2 guards to kick him out. However, Orion doesn't stop talking. My friend's name was Megatron, and he had 3 questions. 3 things he said you should demand to know from any powerful institution. Question 1. In whose interest do you exercise your power? Question 2. To whom are you... Just let me finish. To whom are you accountable? And 3. How can we get rid of you? Orion Pax was beaten by the Senate guards, but one certain senator saved him. He had Pax repaired, and spoke with Orion at the memorial to the Ark-1. The senator said that the Senate had ordered the assassination attempt on Nominus Prime to get access to the Matrix of Leadership, because the Ancients believed that the Matrix of Leadership could create life, and if the Senate can control life, they can control anything. Orion asked the senator another question. He feels different. Something more happened to him than just being repaired, because his entire chest was rebuilt to be able to hold the Matrix of Leadership.